Today, we're tackling a topic that's sure to spark some serious debate. Now, the potential for a female to male gender swap in future MK titles. Now we all know Ed Boon and NRS are no strangers to pushing boundaries and shaking things up. But could this be the next big move? In this video, we're going to explore why NRS might consider this, what it could mean for the franchise, and of course, how the community might react. But before we get into it, make sure you smash that like button if you're passionate about Mortal Kombat, and hit subscribe to stay updated with all the latest MK news and theories. But before we get into it, how a discussion like this could either refresh the series or ruffle some serious feathers. Now, we got 6 talking points. I'm going to start with talking point number 1, which is going to be explore the idea. Before I do that, I want to make it clear that you can skip to any talking point in the video by simply clicking the numbers that I have pinned below. Let's get into it. Number 1, exploring the idea. What were to happen if NRS was to definitely swap a male character, or I should say a female character, to a male character? Now, I think this would really set the tone for the community and make a lot of fans nervous as to what could possibly happen to one of their favorite female characters. Now, this is something that should not happen. However, I think given the track record of NRS, this may be something that is completely up their alley. I've never seen anything like this before, but I do want to make it clear that we did have a male chameleon and a female chameleon, and that was well received by the community at the time. However, I would say back then for the community, they were in the process of creating the Mortal Kombat universe, so we accepted it for what it was. But I want to know, can NRS pull something like that off again by having a male version of one character and a female version of that exact same character? Now, a lot of you would say they already done that with turning Sector and Cyrex from male characters to female characters, but as you can see, that was not well received by people at all. And if you are new to my channel or new to this video, then you can click the little thingy that just popped up on your screen right now, and you can go watch that video, or I will put it at the end of the video where you can just click on it to check out my thoughts and reviews on Sector and Cyrex becoming a female. But let's get back to the number 1 talking point, which is exploring the idea. So if we were to explore this idea and move forward, I think it could really put us in a situation where it's like we could possibly lose some trust for NRS, or we can just become stressed out because we don't want to lose what we are used to. A lot of people don't like change, myself included. You know, a little change at a time is always what's best, but giving us a lot of change, that would be something that a lot of people would probably not be able to handle right out the gate. I know for me, I just want to throw this in there really quickly. I haven't played Mortal Kombat in years, but when MKX came out and I bought the game and I sat down with it, it just looked so unfamiliar. There was so many new characters. The gameplay was different. The tone was different. Everything was different. So I never really got into MKX like that. You know, I got into MK11. MK11 is the game that brought me back. That's the game that really set the tone and made me a Mortal Kombat fan again. So I'm pretty sure a lot of you have only became Mortal Kombat fans from MKX. It probably brought some of you guys in. Let me know in the comments if it did or if it did not. But I just want to point this out here that if NRS were to explore that idea, it will have drastic consequences on the entire Mortal Kombat community, because people would just be frustrated and more than likely overwhelmed at that time. At least that's how I see it. But I just wanted to put that out there. Now we're going to move on to talking point number 2, which is going to be pushing boundaries. Now, would you consider NRS pushing boundaries if they did this? Is it doing a good thing as a company by pushing boundaries? Is pushing boundaries necessary for a franchise that's already fully established? NRS is probably only one of the top video gaming companies that is allowed to do a rinse and repeat, and we would not mind it. But yet they continue to shake things up with each installment of Mortal Kombat. Now, don't get me wrong. They have done some incredible stuff by shaking the game up. We all can admit that. But sometimes they can shake things up too much. And that right there is something that could either be considered pushing boundaries, or you could be confusing your fan base all at the same time. I know for me, it will more than likely be, I want to say, confusing, because it's like, what are we doing here? Are we really pushing the boundaries, or are we just trying stuff and throwing it to the wall and hoping that it sticks? That's something that NRS needs to figure out, and they need to know how far to go with us and how far to not go with us. And I think that right there is going to make a huge difference as to if we're going to trust them to know how far to go when it comes to pushing boundaries and things of that nature. So I would say, my opinion is, I would consider them pushing boundaries. However, sometimes they can cross the line. I want your take on pushing boundaries below too. So make sure you get that down. Now we're going to go on to talking point number 3, which is potential backlash. That's something we're going to touch on. The potential backlash that could come from this is fans can actually just be upset with the franchise altogether and take a mental break. I've taken a mental break from Mortal Kombat before, and I just think it's something that a lot of people may end up doing and going over to Tekken 6 or going over to other franchises. That's just how some people are. Some people are not going to get online and complain. Some people are not going to leave comments. Some people are not going to make videos about it like me. They're just going to move on with their life. Now, I think potential backlash is what we needed. It's much needed. We need potential backlash, because if NRS hears us loud and clearly, then they will calm their little happy behinds down and stop some of the shenanigans that they have going on, basically. And I want to be extra clear with that. If they were to see that we did not like a lot of things that they were doing, maybe they will put the franchise to rest for a couple of years and bring it back a couple of years from now. And I think that right there may be what's needed. I'll touch on that in another video, because that leads into a separate topic, a really good one actually. But maybe the franchise needs to take a break if you got to do all this exploring and figuring out. Now, remember when Mortal Kombat 2011 came out? I think it was 2011 Mortal Kombat made its big comeback, and they came back with the refreshed Mortal Kombat 11. That was well welcome, and it was one of the best Mortal Kombat games. You know why? Because they actually gave the fans what they wanted at that point. And then we had Mortal Kombat X that came out. You know why that was successful? Because they actually gave the fans what they wanted. They was not trying to be politically correct. It wasn't all about graphics at the time. It was about the gameplay. We had a run button. We had all types of stuff in the game. We had some crazy killer combos. We had all types of stuff at that time. And that was mainly because of us, the fans. They knew they needed to get right with us. And then by the time Mortal Kombat 11 came around, what did they do? They took the run button out the game. They gave us less combos. We had unfinished characters. It was just like the roster was lackluster. I mean, the DLC did help out for the most part, but the roster should have been good from the get-go, or whatever the case may be. So the potential backlash, should we get that if they were to make the decision to gender swap a male character to a female character, or a female character to a male character, then that would probably help NRS get they crap together. That's how I'm looking at it there. But I want to know, what are your thoughts on, I want to say, potential backlash? Is backlash needed should something like that happen? I want you to answer that in the comments below. And we're going to move on to our next talking point. And our next talking point is going to be unfamiliar to some fans. Because I could tell you this right now. I kind of touched on it earlier, but making this unfamiliar to the majority of fans, it's going to be a sour taste for a lot of people. It's almost like, let's say your mom makes your favorite dish of food, right? And every time she makes your favorite dish of food, she uses the same ingredients. She cooks it a really good way, which is the reason why you love it, why it's your favorite. And let's just say one day your mom just stopped using those ingredients and she used something completely different. You sit down at the table, you bib up, you grab your spoon and your fork, you say your prayers, and you get ready to dig in, and you're expecting nothing but your mother's great goodness. And you slice whatever it is open, you stab it with a fork, you eat it, and you begin to realize that the taste is not the same. So what do? You continue to eat to see if you can find that taste. After your third or fourth bite, you realize that taste is not there. And now you are dissatisfied with your mom's cooking. That doesn't mean she can't cook. It just means that's not the taste that you're used to. And you only sat at that table because you know it's going to be good. It's something reliable, something you can count on. Now going forward, you may question eating anything if she's going to continue to switch up her recipes. You get what I'm saying there? So I honestly do think that Mortal Kombat can look unfamiliar to fans. Like, I want NRS to be innovative. I want to make that clear. But the things that they do sometimes can make this game look very, very unfamiliar. Because I can tell you the whole Sector and Cyrex thing, that got me feeling a certain type of way where I'm just like, yo, was that necessary? And I want to make it clear, I do not have any issues with the characters being females. The only issue I have is the fact that they could have put them as cameos or made the female versions playable and made the male versions playable. They should have just been able to click on, or made them a skin. That would have been more respectful, because us who really wanted to play as the male characters, we got done dirty. Our characters got sacrificed, basically. Yes, I understand it's a new timeline, but you could have still given us that option to enjoy what it is that we wanted to enjoy, you know? So that's where I'm at on that one. Now, this next one here, the next talking point that we're going to touch on is going to be called innovation and frustration. This talking point, is it innovation or is it frustration? So that's what I want to touch on. Do you think NRS is being innovative by doing these things? Are they changing the game by gender swapping characters? Are they really? Is this innovation? Is this progression? And I'm saying it this way, and I structured the video this way, so that way it can cause you to think. I want you to put your thinking cap on, really get into your thinking bag, because we're Mortal Kombat fans. This is not a complaint video. This is a think piece. That's what this video is, you know? So would you consider this innovation, what NRS is doing with the gender swapping? Or would you be some of the people on the side of the fence that will call this frustration? Now, for me, I'm kind of sitting on the fence, because I do believe in innovation. Innovation makes things better. We can learn from those mistakes and become better at what we're doing. But I am frustrated also at the same time. I'm frustrated because it's like, this is not necessary. It was not needed at all. And as a MK fan, I don't like my favorite stuff to be tampered with if you're not going to make it better. But in order to make something better, you got to make things, you know, they say things get worse before it gets better. Well, it's because you have to be innovative at times to see what works and to see what don't works. And once you figure that out, you can kind of find a mixture of being innovative and still giving the fans the much needed frustration to question your decisions, but to also, you know, put everything where it needs to be progressive as a company also, you know? So for me, I'm sitting on that fence. But if I had to pick one, as an MK fan, I would say I'm frustrated. But from a business perspective, I would say yes, it is innovative because you want to continue to challenge yourself as a video game developer. Even as an artist, even as a movie writer, a director, whatever you're doing in your life, you want to continue to challenge yourself. So I understand both sides of it. I just want to play devil's advocate and kind of just point that out there. That's what I wanted to do with that there. So innovation or frustration. Now, the last point I want to touch on here, this point right here is going to be broad trends. That's what I wanted to point out. Is this a trend in the community, or is this something only NRS is doing? Now, I don't pay attention to a lot of other fighting games, but I'm hearing rumors that Tekken 6 may have gender swapped some of its characters. I did not take the time or the due diligence to check to see if that was true. So if you guys want to let me know in the comment section, that would be very helpful towards the video. Did Tekken 6 actually swap any of their characters from male to female or female to male? Are there any other video games that are swapping their characters from male to female or female to male? I would like to know, is NRS following a trend, or is this something that they're just doing? Now, the whole cameo system that came about, I would like to say I saw that system in another game. I can't remember exactly which one it was at this point in time. I think it was like Hogwarts or something like that. And it has a cameo system, and as well as another game, I think it was called like Fable, or an actual game called Cameo. And that's something that was trendy at the time, and NRS basically followed. At least I think they did. But this is where your input come in, because we're a Mortal Kombat community here, and we get to have discussions, help each other's, share information and all things of that nature. So I hope this video was well put together for you guys so that we could enjoy those talking points. For those of you that want to skip around, as mentioned, the numbers are there for you to do so. With that being said, guys, I want to go ahead and pass this question off to you guys. But before I do that, I want to make it clear that it's a wrap on today's discussion. What do you think? Could a female to male gender swap be a bold new direction for Mortal Kombat? Or is it a step too far? I want to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let's get this conversation going. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss out on the latest and greatest Mortal Kombat news and theories. Also, share the video with your fellow MK fans as we are rebuilding the community here and turning this into a trustworthy community. Again, if you're new to the channel, beware of my old videos as they are clickbaits. I was literally clickbaiting videos just to get comments, likes, and views at that time, which I apologize for. I just rather do the job now correctly and to do it fairly and honestly, and hope to rebuild my destroyed reputation to become a reputable source and a community that's not toxic for Mortal Kombat fans. So if you guys can support the channel and support my growth, I would appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Make sure you stay tuned as more videos are coming, and I'm going to try to push out as much MK1 content for you guys as possible. And I want to ask you this question just on a side note thinking. Are you okay with the videos being this long, or would you prefer that the videos stay 10 minutes long? Are you okay with longer MK content, or would you prefer shorter MK content? So I want you to sound off in the comments and let me know exactly how you feel about that so we can find that sweet spot. Me, I don't mind making longer videos, especially if it's something that you guys are going to enjoy. So again, sound off. Thanks for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. Catch you in the next one. All right, guys, it's clear. I'm really trying to hit the 20-minute mark at this point, so just give me a second and bear with me, and I'm going to go ahead and get you guys up out of here. We're just going to let the rest of this play, and make sure you hit that like button if you ain't did so already. All right, we up out of here. Let me go ahead and drop that outro. we have hit the 20-minute mark. Thank you for watching. If you watched all the way to the end, say I watched to the end, and I will like your comment, and you will get a guaranteed response. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
That little boy's teeth, Candyman, Candyman, Candyman. Bought you a stepper, but I got you looking real sweet. I'm really like that, I got nothing to prove. My legacy legend could never be bros. That track blowing up in the metro was booming for mentioning me. I'm the top of the room. We know you can't fit in my shows. Yeah. Fuck it, I'm breaking the rules. I should've left you in Compton, you probably be waiting on tables and serving hits in the archives than your team has on my hard drive. Did a